Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring Fight to Survive. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review featuring this tabletop RPG, where you employ your martial arts to survive the mean streets of New Hope City and build a legacy, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about conflict resolution. There is no greater there than your life on the line. Just wait until the going gets tough. That's when you come alive. When it comes to this conflict resolution system, each game of Fight to Survive has the same structure. The Game Master will present an event that starts the year, and most of the game time is spent responding to that event, and the events that follow it. The game progresses in free role-playing until a moment of uncertainty arrives over what should happen next, in which case play escalates to formal conflict resolution mechanics. A few questions will need to be answered first. What exactly is being resolved in this conflict? Of course, this is the purview of the Game Master. The players will interact with those answers. Who is going to resolve it? How are they going to do it? And when? To answer these questions, you use the conflict resolution funnel outlined in the following page. To adjudicate conflict, the Game Master uses three different tools. These are ordered from broad to specific, from first steps down to last resorts. They are each governed a little differently. First, there is free roleplay, and here I find an error in my appraisal. Simple roleplay, that is, the table reaches an agreement by a combination of in-character and out-of-character discussion. I don't see the need for out-of-character discussion. So this is used when stakes are low and failure would be uninteresting. The Game Master can make a ruling if it becomes necessary to progress the game. If you need examples on how to play a tabletop role-playing game with actual roleplay without breaking the immersion, please check out my actual play video in the description below. That's why I say it is not necessary for out-of-character discussion. The other point, by the numbers. This is the general conflict resolution mechanic of Fight to Survive, used for resolving points in the game where there are meaningful stakes at play. You need to know what happens in order to progress the game, but the situation is not directly based in violence, or at least not usually. Then you have moves versus moves. For times of violence, use the moves of a fighter's martial art grapple, punch, kick, block, or footwork in an exchange of moves to determine life and death outcomes. These three methods act together as a kind of funnel for the action, starting with setting the scene and leading, tragically but near inevitably, to violence. Concerning resolution responsibility, each player in Fight to Survive controls one and only one player character. At a time, of course, that is, considering the legacy aspect. You, the player, are solely responsible for communicating the actions and feelings of your player character. The responsibility or opportunity to resolve conflicts is often obvious in the course of play. The player character who gets to resolve a given in-game situation is usually the one whose player volunteers to do so. At other times, the Game Master must determine which player character or player characters will be responsible for resolving the conflict presented. This responsibility may fall on an individual player character, many player characters in the group, or the entire group, depending on the circumstances. The Game Master determines this ratio, but whatever the players are planning influences this greatly. When a challenging situation arises in-game, it could be that all player characters have to employ the game mechanics to resolve the situation individually. One player character can champion the issue and resolve it for everyone. Perhaps every player character has to face the same situation at the very same time as individuals, or it's a combination of these scenarios. When it comes to individual events, usually each player character or most player characters will be doing something a little different from each other on their turn. When that is the case, the Game Master will resolve each of the situations individually by the order of the build of each character, from the smallest player character first to the biggest player character considered the slowest. Concerning championed events, There are other cases where one player character can champion the situation for all player characters. When a champion fails, another champion does not replace them. Instead, every player character in the group must deal with the situation individually. When it comes to group-wide events, in some cases, most or all player characters will face the same challenge at the same time. In that case, one player character could not champion the rest and act to save others. It would be every player character for themselves. Concerning combined events, most of the time a cycle of turns will feature a combination of the above situations. It may be that one player character champions a situation, another does something on their own, and a few are separated. The structure of the turn order is how this is all sorted out. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about the turn order. So everything is well laid out and easy to understand. There is a structure here, giving priority to specific situations, for example, handling something as a single individual, or perhaps handling the situation with various members of the group or the entire group. The only thing I dislike is the out-of-character discussion. It really isn't necessary. It will break the immersion. Please check out my actual play and my RPG tips to obtain some information on how to accomplish this, staying in character, keeping the immersion alive. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.